Well, hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. I'm Maya Tusi and this is Tusi TV and your latest update from the European Union. Before we start, I want to give a massive shout out to every single person who's been supporting this channel. We have now officially reached and exceeded 560,000 subscribers, and of course we'll continue to be your go-to source for daily news from across the world. Let's talk about what's going on with the European Union, the relationship between the European Commission and Hungary. Alright, the flaw in the whole system is being exposed again. The European Union, which was initially supposed to be about steel and trading, and then it was created, then they created the common market, the European Economic Community, and they said this is simply just to do cooperation. And then they said, we also have a new idea, let's do a political union as well. Which was the European Union in the 90s, and they said, well, we could just use European judges to be the Supreme Court for Europe. Then they said we should just do a central banking, European central bank, and they said we should just do a currency. Why not? And then they said maybe in the future we could have a United States of Europe, maybe a European army. But then meanwhile, they've been saying you can keep your sovereignty. You could be Poland and keep the Polish flag. You could be France and keep the French flag for now. What is the point of having technical sovereignties by being a member of this club that completely clashes with both sides? So technically speaking, in defense of the European Union, having a country like Hungary inside the EU is damaging the EU, and Hungary being part of the EU is damaging Hungary. It's just not a good marriage. Same could be applied when it comes to Poland and the European Union. Not all countries are like Germany. The Germans are happy because they are calling the shots in Brussels and Strasbourg. Now, Viktor Orban has had a couple of meetings with Putin, with President Xi and a couple of others. Now, you can sit here and criticize him saying, I don't like that he met with President Xi or Putin. Yeah, but he's still obviously in charge of the government in Hungary, and people in Hungary said, yeah, go have it, go sort it out, go do it. So as an individual country, do whatever you want to do. We could decide if we want to be friends with them or not. Their problem is when they're part of the European Union, they don't have a say. And this is what's happening. So Hungary is just receiving the presidency of Europe, and the European Union are going to be kicking him out, revoking the presidency, and they're discussing this over the next few days as well. And European Union diplomat said with such meeting, the presidency for Hungary ends before it has really begun. Now, they're all kicking off because they're saying Hungary doesn't share our European Union values. Why did you invite them? The same the conversation that a lot of them are having about Turkey, for example. Then why are you trying to push for Turkey to join when Turkey at this point shouldn't even be in NATO, with all the troubles that they have and lack of human rights and absolute chaos of Islamism across Turkey? Why are they still part of NATO? On the one hand, the Western globalists want to basically bring everybody to the tent so they could control them. On the other hand, they get upset when a country like Poland or Hungary rebels against the rules of the game in Brussels. There's another situation, obviously, over the last couple of days. Orban had this massive speech for presidency. The European Parliament decided to block it, as if Hungary is just a guest of the European Union. They are a full member of the European Union. So you have to decide. You can't just remove the presidency. If, let's just say, from the perspective of the European Union, Hungary no longer shares their values, then just kick them out. Get rid of them, right? Do Brexit for Hungary. But they don't let them leave. They won't let Hungary leave, and they won't let them have their own sovereignty, and they won't let Hungary have any sort of say. Now, why are you surprised? When the Western globalists are doing this, then you have the Eastern globalists who want to also rule the world. You need to go with politicians and countries that are doing sovereignty and nationalism and patriotism. So, for example, China, the communists in China, with the help of the Islamic Republic of Iran and the communists in Brazil, they're doing BRICS. BRICS, which again, like the European Union, it started as just an economic zone. And then they say, let's just do cooperation. Oh, let's just do our own army. Okay, let's replace the Western globalist system with an Eastern globalist system. Like, So wait, you want to replace a centralized system with another centralized system? That's a good idea, right? Yeah, we don't like the dollar supremacy. Oh, that's a fair point. What do you want to do instead? National sovereignties? No, we want to replace it with a BRICS version of the dollar instead. Like, so nothing will change. You're just changing the rulers of the world. The world police will change from America to the eastern side with the help of China, Iran, Brazil, and all the others. You see, that's the main problem. And there are idiots, absolute idiots, because the education system is completely stupid, sitting around watching YouTube videos, watching BBC News, saying, I need to pick a side. I'm going to pick between CIA and the Chinese Communist Party, between the dollar and BRICS. At this point, this is exactly why my policy is now not deportations, expulsion. I want to send everybody who believes that they need to pick a side into exile. Find an island in the middle of the ocean, I don't care where, maybe the Atlantis. find the actual secret island, and then send them all there. I don't want anyone who believes in tribalism to be in this country anymore. Obviously, that was a joke, but ideally, you want to educate people so that they don't pick sides like it's a football team. The source said that Viktor Orban had indicated to the parliament that he could appear before the plenary, a panel on a Tuesday or Wednesday, the 16th and the 17th of July, which is next week, to present the agenda of the Hungarian presidency, which Budapest has given the slogan, Make Europe Great Again. Now, of course, the whole thing is confusing a lot of ordinary people across Europe because of the toxic relationship between both the European Union and Hungary. The whole thing is falling apart. As I said, on the one hand, they don't like Hungary to have its sovereignty. Hungary did nothing wrong. Viktor Orban is making his country great again, right? Whether you like it or not. Viktor Orban is a strong leader. Now, you could criticize his foreign policies. Fine. Absolutely fine. But for his own country, he's making policies, right? And we can sit here in the West and judge him based on what he's doing with the justice system and everything else. Fair enough. But he is technically still leading a sovereign country. Who is the European Union telling him what to do? They won't let them leave. As I said, if the European Union don't like Hungary, let them leave. They won't let them leave. But they'll punish them inside the EU. Let Hungary be Hungary. Let Poland be Poland. Let's see what people are saying. Peace Now says, get over it. I know this channel doesn't like Hungary. So clearly this person doesn't listen to anything we say. This is exactly why, if I'm a dictator, when I'm a dictator, I'm going to send these people to prison. Listen to when I talk. I just said, let Hungary be Hungary. Orban is doing things for his own country, whether you like it or not. You can criticize him, but technically Hungary is still relatively a sovereign nation. Criticize foreign policies, that's fine. But domestically, he's making his country great again. It's none of the business of the European Union or the others. And this person is called Peace Now, doesn't listen. Guys, listen. Jim says he believes that Hungary will leave in the end. But this is the whole problem. They won't let them. They're going to find a way, obviously. But I think when the domino effect starts across Europe, and I've always said, the domino effect when it comes to the European Union and the exits or reform or whatever you want to call it, is essentially going to be when the Nordic countries kick off. And the Dutch. The Netherlands, Denmark, all these places, when they kick off based on financials and the economy, that's when it's going to happen. It's not going to be Poland. It's not going to be Hungary. It's going to be the Nordics that will basically start the domino effect, and we'll see. I'm not saying that Denmark will immediately leave. I'm saying that they're going to start the domino effect, of course, and things will change. The European Union is the biggest criminal organization. It's definitely one of the most corrupt organizations that we have. John Hall says, what sort of democracy do we have when unelected people dictate to us? It's not. That's the issue. That's the exact issue that we have. The problem we have is that we've got European judges and the European Commission, who are also unelected, decide. And the problem I have is not really about being elected or unelected. The problem is you've got foreign forces deciding for the rest of the countries. That's the issue. I don't want to be ruled by the European Union, and I also don't want to be ruled by BRICS and the commies in China and the Islamists in Iran who are leading BRICS. Both sides are stupid. We need to make our countries, individual countries, great again. That's the whole point. Philip of Sparta says 10,000 new subscribers a week. Wow, yes, actually, we at this point, I think we're getting about close to 2,000 subscribers a day. So between 1 to 2K. So it's about 10K a month. But at this point, over the next few months, a couple of months, I think we should be getting closer to 600,000 subscribers with your support, of course. Let's see what else we have. Dave Hackney says the EU also charged Hungary 200 million euros, then 1 million until they accepted the immigration quota. Nice club. Yeah, I mean, I don't understand why ordinary people across Europe are not saying it enough. That's the issue. They showed their voices, for example, across Europe when it came to the European elections. But the European elections are not real elections anyway. It's based on a fake plastic parliament. But the reality of the situation is you need to have a situation where individual countries, do Brexit for themselves. I've said this so many times. When I was campaigning for Brexit in this country, I wasn't just advocating for Brexit for Britain, but also exit for all the European countries. Make your own countries great again. Trade with each other in a fair and free way. Have a level playing field with the neighboring countries and your partners. Cooperate on international level. Do not sell out your sovereignty and your own democracy. Independence is important. This will be like the UN deciding that they have the power to remove a prime minister or president and to hell with what their own people voted for. This is the level of power that the European Union is getting to. Now, when they officially go towards the United States of Europe, then they will definitely have this power, and each prime minister of these countries who are member states of the European Union will be treated like governors in America. Each state will have a governor, and each European member state will have a governor, and of course the president of the European Union will be like the federal president in the United States. Super chat from Barbara saying we need thank you very much, by the way, so much for the support. Somebody the European Union in one, Labour in another. There is a point to be made about this Labour government in Britain. By getting us closer to the European Union without joining the European Union, they're making things more complicated for themselves and for the country. Because if Labour were 100% a rejoin the EU party, then at least we knew what we were getting. And if they were, let's believe in Brexit Britain, then we know what you are getting out of it. Right now, they are making things difficult for their party by doing this wishy-washy. We're going to get closer to the EU without joining it. They're going to make things harder for the country, but they're also going to make things hard for the European Union, because they're just creating a bad precedent for all the other countries. Because if they end up getting a better deal with the EU simply means that we have to follow more of the rules. That's how it works. But the European Union will have to create more bureaucracy and more paperwork. So because there's a new relationship with Britain that's not a member state. And that's just going to make things even more complicated for the European Union. So maybe it's a good idea. This is our new way to enter Europe, by just the European Union, to just divide them again. We'll see. Super chat from Mike saying, after the news that Starmer is letting peers out the EU's decision to pick who is going to rule, it looks like they want a violent civil unrest now. But they definitely don't want that. They simply want to test the waters to increase their reach when it comes to power over independent member states and individuals, of course. Jonathan says, wait a second, the EU has the power to remove any elected head of state and government it wishes? No. So this is the presidency of Europe, of the European Union, that they are removing, obviously. The presidency that is now being given to Hungary and Viktor Orban. That's they're going to be having the meeting to remove that. Neil says, you realize you can punch as opposed in reality, not in real life. Yep. Let's go back. Some of you guys. Daniel says, funny how right all the conspiracy theorists, there's a verb missing there. I think it's are or were. That warned, there was a comma there. That warned about the direction of the EEC was going in were. Yes. I mean, at that time, they were simply saying it's not going to happen. Margaret Thatcher warned people about it. They didn't listen. John Major went against Margaret Thatcher and all the others, saying, and this is just not going to happen. Maggie said they're going to turn the executive branch into the European Commission. They're going to turn the courts and the judges into the European Court of Justice, and they're going to create the fake legislative body, which is the European Parliament over your own parliament. And that is when things started going wrong in 1990s. But will they learn? Nope, absolutely not. Again, the whole point of this is the relationship between the EU and a country like Hungary or Poland, because both obviously are having a massive clash with the EU. If you believe that Hungary is not sharing the European Union values, get rid of them. Get them to leave. But you won't let them to leave. And you still want them to be involved to take their money. So what's the point of this? And nobody seems to care. But the more they do this, the more this is going to be creating the end of the European project anyway. So good riddance, I guess. Eventually, at some point, this whole thing is going to go. Nothing lasts forever, including the Roman Empire. Whoever thinks that the European Union is going to last forever is an idiot. And don't listen to them, because they don't know what they're talking about. Yeah, Maggie was right. No. Absolutely spot on. Anyway, we're going to take a quick break. We're going to come back and tell you guys about an Islamist election activist who has now been arrested in England. And we're going to give you guys all the details in about half an hour. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Maya Tusi, and we are the media.